friends go out drink, I'm okay. Where? They tell you KTV. Okay, no, I can't go there because that's my bottom line. Waza.
And welcome to our coffee shop. I'm your host, Media, and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you that are tuning in via YouTube or any sort of podcasting platform, hi again. Thank you so much for giving us a try, for giving us a listen. We're just a Singaporean duo that dislike unhappy marriages. Speaking of people in unhappy, I'm not happy. Speaking of people that disapprove of unhappy marriages, once again, I'm joined by my brother, Mr. Brendan Yo. Brendan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Are you drinking coffee?
I'm drinking the cousin.
The cousin. I think how many did I drink yesterday? I drank 4.
Oh, I know. Bro.
I was like, I can't. And I didn't sleep. Because yesterday I went to go and watch the movie, like Air. So I was like, okay lah, like I don't want to. Yeah.
What was it? The Air Jordan.
Oh, it's good, bro. It's good. Listen, I really recommend if you are into sort of dramas, like funny dramas. It's not so much like just straight up drama, but it's like entertaining. But you know, very cool, right? When then they go through the credits and then they show at the end. Do you know how much he earns a year or not through Air Jordan now? Would you like to make a guess?
Oh, I'm guessing millions.
Yeah, not billions lah, but he earns
millions.
Yeah, million. He earns about $450 million a year from licensing.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's damn mad. Yeah, I was like, yeah lah.
It's like 450 million a year. It's like in 3 years, it's already that's a billion.
Yeah, that's a billion. If you somehow it's like. In 1 year, if you invest it properly, it's like it can be 1 billion. Already.
Yeah.
Just put it somewhere useful. Or
how to spend finish? Like every year you get 450 million. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. But for this Michael Jordan, right, I know for a fact he just loves to play golf. So like now, all he does is just play golf. And then enjoy life. I mean, like if you got that much money, why not, right? Yeah. But you know, I saw this video, right? Because my wife, she watched me, then she was like, why is this Michael Jordan like known as such a like great person? I was like, wow, he's the most competitive person ever.
Yeah.
That's why, like the most ruthless player, right? Then after I showed her this video of him at this basketball camp, so there was this video, right? There's like 200 kids at the camp. Then if he missed like a 3-point shot, right, they all get free shoes. So it's like Chris Paul was like, come on, Michael, like miss. Bro, he shot like these straight shots.
I saw that one. He made it well.
I was like, free shoes.
Michael, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, charity. What's that? Yeah. Exactly. And I was like, this explains exactly why he's the best. Like just ruthless.
Competitive.
You know, small things also don't lose. Yeah. Speaking of things that we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose the joy in a marriage. That's a bad transition. But for this week's episode, we're going to be talking about unhappy marriages. And I would say that there's a rising case of unhappy marriages in Singapore. If you look at the trending, we'll go through it later, right? Singapore, the cases, divorce rates have gone up. And I think there's a lot of contributing factors into that. But I thought it'd be good for us, right? Considering the fact that we are both actually the best men at each other's at each other's weddings, right? What's the one thing that you remember about my wedding the most? Just curious, or like about your own wedding also.
Honestly, right? I remember I was so your wedding. The one key thing, because it was a COVID wedding, right? I remember I was very upset, right, at the person, right? I remember I had to argue. I like talked to the person, right? I was like, what the hell? No background music? Are you kidding me? Right? Remember that? I argued with that. Like, I remember I talked to the person. I was just like, how can there be no background music? Then she brought out like the what's that? The regulation by the government. Like because I was like, what nonsense is this? Oh, because if there's background music, people will speak louder. Then when they speak louder, got more saliva. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So throughout my whole wedding, right, there was no music at all. So it's just everyone just like talking. But everyone talked very loud also.
Everyone talked very loud, yeah. So actually, that's why don't really notice. That's why on my table I actually told Timmy that actually I was just talking to the person. I can't believe that there's no music. Oh, I didn't even realize there's no music because I think the background chatter was quite loud. Then after that, especially I think the transitions were all quite nice because like we were still allowed to play the videos and like
yeah. We're still allowed to play the walk-in music also.
Music, correct.
Yeah. But the thing about that wedding, right? Because I only found out on that day itself that I can't play music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put in so much effort into like
the playlist, right? I knew it. That's why I know you also put in so much effort on the playlist.
I was like, okay, I want to have like a bit of each genre. So I was like, I have an R&B song here. Then after the next one will be a country song. Then after that will be a pop song. So I like put in effort to like go and lay the thing. Then after that, I remember this L, right, who's doing the media for that day, right? He was like, there's going to be no music. Then I was like none? He's like, yeah, no music at all. They said that if you want to play it very soft, you can, like in the background. Then I was like, oh, so what? The ants can hear.
Yeah. No, it's really very soft, bro. It's like
really
not even supposed to. Like it's not even like louder than the chatter. It's like,
yeah. So I was like, it's not worth it lah. just turn it off, lor. Then after that, every chance I have in the car, I'll just play that playlist.
Make full use of the effort.
Yeah. So like, people plan the wedding, right? They plan other stuff very in detail, right? This is the one thing I was like, this is my
you're right. Same. Like like choosing the walk-in song, or like picking the playlist. Wow.
Yeah, same for your wedding also. You put in a lot of time. Yeah. Only thing is that you didn't use Spotify, right? You had to use like download MP3 files to go and burn into a thumb drive.
Thumb drive and play it through the computer. It's like it's at that point of time the regulation is. I think a lot of the wedding venues haven't changed some of them haven't changed their copyright
public
issues.
Distribution, correct.
Correct.
Yeah,
they said, but now I think almost all of them changed to Spotify already. Now they allow Spotify. Yeah, that same wedding hall my friend went to, like, then I was just like, oh, do you have to download the thing? Then they said, oh no, they allowed us to use Spotify. Then I was like, what the? Burn freaking CD. I had a CD on in emergency in case the thumb drive didn't work. What nonsense.
Yeah, I remember also that day for your wedding, right? Your laptop didn't work.
Yes. Like it crashed. I was like, it crashed. Like I think like 15 minutes before the doors opened. I remember. I was like, why? Of all this, like every day we like, and somehow we just tested it like 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, 1 day ago. Then I was just like,
yeah, it was something like it had to update. It was updating or something like that.
Yeah, and the update was just like crazy long.
Yeah, and then we ended up using Jerome's laptop. Correct? Last minute. Wow, hang got to scramble all this. But in the end, also, I also remember like the good things about your marriage, like especially like the dance floor. Yeah, that was nice. In general, one of my favorite weddings that I've been to, Yohan. Especially when I remember when she walked out at the church. Then after that, in that moment, I was a bit like, wow, like very proud that it's like you finally got married. After you thought about it for so long, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, it's like, honestly, for most people, honestly, it's very surprising. Even when I tell my friends, right, honestly, last time the funny thing about me and my dad, right, is when we were like, I think like 14 or 15, right, we really like envisioning about, this is a perfect wedding song to walk down to. Like, wow, this is when we listen to music, like, wow, this is like the perfect walking song. Wow, this song had to be at your wedding, bro. Yeah. Then we were both like, yeah, wow, where do you think we'll have it at? Wow. Then my dad will always say like, oh, he loved it because of like, your dad is your very own solemnizer.
Yeah.
Correct, and honestly, that's one thing I also love about your wedding. So like, honestly, especially your dad knows how to make it fun. Yeah.
Well, no, it was enjoyable moments also, and then stuff that I will like really remember. I also remember the first time when I see my wife walk down, I was like, wow, I cried. Like I cannot control. I don't know how to explain. I was like, so many years of like, overwhelmed.
And especially for you, it's like after like, how long were you all together when you all get married? I think you all were together 16 years, like almost more than half your life.
Yeah. And then at the time also there was a lot of COVID restrictions, but so when we did it, right, it's like really feel very like satisfied because we go through a lot of extensive planning, a lot of date changes.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the crazy side of marriage. The wedding or this lah. But for this week's episode, to transition to something more sour. Gotta start off sweet now if I go into sour. We're going to be talking about unhappy marriages, and then we're going to talk about different segments about it. So like divorce and individual happiness versus responsibility, the issue of affairs and also money in unhappy marriages, timing of marriage, which I think is actually quite important, and then how does children affect marriages. All right, with that, let's get right into the episode. All right, now let's go into the episode itself. Just some like facts about marriage in Singapore and divorce rates. Since 2020, which is about 3 years ago, the divorce rates have increased by about 13.4%. So in 2021, I think 2022, the analytics are not out yet. So there have been 7,890 divorce cases. But despite that, there's been also a 25.1% increase in marriage. So there's been 28,329 marriages. I think this is largely attributed to the fact that lockdown was sort of removed. Do you think?
I think so. But I would think that for the lockdown period, it's always the make it or break it. Like it will make your relationship become stronger, or you'll break it. Because now, like especially in Singapore, where everybody always dive into their work. Like if you are unhappy in your marriage, or you can dive into your work and you get distracted from your work, then after that you don't really have to focus on your relationship. But then after that, now if you're every day stuck at home with your wife, it's just like no choice but to see you. Hi.
Somehow I would say that largely everyone just went like work from home. So even if your wife also is working at home, and then plus if you add in the factor of like having children at home, so there's a bunch of things that are like adding to the situation. Because you were married at the time. At the time during the lockdown, I was not married yet. So I got married during the lockdown. After the things started to ease. But for yourself, right, when you were in that situation, was this the first time that you sort of like had to spend every single moment with your wife?
I guess it's not really true because like I said, the thing about Amanda and I, right, it's just that we spend crazy amount of time with each other. So from right at the start of our relationship now. So I wouldn't recommend it to everybody because it's really very hard. Like it's very different, and it different personality honestly may react differently. Cause
clash.
Clash. Because Amanda and I used to work together. Like we were in the same company, same office. Then after that, can you imagine, even before lockdown, so before lockdown when we work together, right, we stay together, we go to work together, we come home together. So that's even before lockdown. So the times that we spend separate from each other is when we have our own appointments or we go out with like, very rarely we go out with our own friends. Minimal. Very, very minimal. So we're already very used to spending like crazy amount of time together. So now it's like just extra lot, just like even slightly more, but not really like that. It didn't really affect us that much. Especially honestly, we just got married, so it's like slightly honeymoon period also lah. Like so, I can't really compare to like marriages who are like imagine if I imagine myself now circuit breaker with Bradley. Wow.
That
will be a
different level of like stress, right? Correct. The situation.
Correct.
So it's like you sort of you have to go and deal with it, and then we'll talk about that later lah. Like the expense of like children in marriages, all this. But when you during that time also, you also go to church together, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of things.
Yeah, Monday to Friday we work together. Sunday we go to church together. Saturday, even that's why some of our friends will always tell us like, I can't believe that Monday to Friday you all are together. Sunday you're still together. Then Saturday you still want to go out with your friends together, or you all still want to go dating together. It's like, wow, you're not enough with each other. Then I'm like, but then Monday to Friday so that's why I say in the end sometimes it's also effort, because if Monday to Friday you're already working, but you're not really like going out dating. Then Sunday you go to church, you're not really going out like dating also. So it's not really you and her alone. So that's why sometimes me and Amanda, we go out on our own Saturdays to go out, because we never had a like alone time with one another. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like you're together, but not really alone together.
Yes.
So different. Yeah. So not quality time, but it's just time together lah.
Correct.
Okay, but now that you've like sort of changed your work style, right? Because now you're not directly working with her. Do you feel that it's better?
I honestly feel it's better. Like, it's less taxing on the relationship, because I feel like it's not say that it's better or worse. Because honestly, like I said, everybody, like every relationship is different. It's just that I feel like, especially for in relationships, right, when you have more things that involve each other, especially for your work, you have a lot more things to like a lot more friction. You know, like yeah. And it's very hard. You really need a lot like very good communication skills to like and to know like when to stop talking about work. Because now if you're working together, right, even when you're at home, you'll bring up work because you all both know everything about work.
Yeah, correct.
So it's just like
also, or maybe it might be the opposite effect. It's like because you all see each other at work, you all got nothing to talk about besides.
Yes,
because you all both know about
we'll know everything. So it's like at night we like what is there to talk about? I refill the entire day. What do you don't need to tell me your day? I know your day. So it's just like there isn't really much like things or like further experience. But of course we can share like, oh, you know, when I did this today, right, I felt like I could have done this better or like. But it's like it becomes very like very different. So it's like I said, it really takes a lot more. Like it's a really a bigger challenge to work together. Like of course there are a lot of couples who do work together. Then in the end they spur each other on. They push each other to like achieve higher goals and like then after that they like. Because they know, then they are partners in their work as well. So like they all push each other to become better. Those kind of like of course that's good as well. But like I said, then it's always a case of like I don't know when do I stop talking about work. Then do I? No, it's always very dangerous because sometimes I bring work home. Sometimes I bring my relationship to work. Like I argue with my husband.
Yes,
because
you might argue in the office. It's not like ideal or
correct. Because not everybody can. Like some people wear their hearts on their sleeve, so it's like sometimes it's very obvious. Like if me and Amanda, but thankfully me and Amanda we didn't have this problem because we're not the kind that wear our hearts on our sleeve. Like like we care a lot about the environment. Like we don't want our relationship to affect the business environment. So even when we argue, then we just like we may not talk to each other as much, but we still like cordially like maybe like haha okay. but then then we settle it when we go home, but. I do know, for example, my like some bosses who work together, right? You can clearly tell. Then it makes the entire like wow, just like very like what do I do? Like I don't know. Like it makes everything it's very tense. So it's not good lah.
Or maybe the increase in divorce rates, right, is because of the fact that they were forced to go and squeeze together in the lockdown
correct,
which is one of the main contributing factors for maybe divorce in that period. I mean, like maybe you'll see a dip down, but. Okay, now let's talk about the sort of reasonings for divorce. Mainly the causes or things that sort of are catalysts
for at point of time. They push you to in the end decide to get a divorce.
Yeah, so if you go to actually like divorce.com, right, there's a few things that they sort of list out as the main reasons for cause. So they can like sort of, people when they poll itself, they can vote for more than one thing. For one reason, for why a divorce happens or whatever. The number one sort of thing that comes out is actually this few. So it's a lack of commitment. So it's like affairs, money also, individual happiness, the timing of the marriage, and also children. But okay, let's sort of go off in order first. So individual happiness versus responsibility. The idea that couples, they're sort of choosing individual happiness over their marriage or their responsibility. Maybe they've sort of gotten a sense of, what would you say? Like enlightenment or like they realize something that, okay, this is not for me or what?
Like,
you get what I mean?
like I feel like I feel like usually especially for marriages, especially unhappy marriages, right? It's not like a one-time thing. It's not like one day suddenly you realize, actually I've been unhappy for so long. I don't think so. I think it's I've been unhappy for a while. Then after I become more and more gradual. Yeah, it's very gradual. Then some like for some I've met before like people who go through their divorce or like people who trying to work their relationship out. Sometimes it's a lot of times it's either due to lack of communication or like it could be also the fact that they try to communicate, then they feel the person just shoot them down. I feel a lot of times it's because many a times it's usually when they feel very appreciated. Yes. Then after that they feel like whatever they say that doesn't matter. Then like or like like they feel like they have no voice in at home. And then it to them it feels like they are happier at work, right, than when they come back home to their wife, which is supposed to be their home.
I think that Western influence in a way. Yeah, especially during lockdown, because you start to see like a lot of people. Like,
you watch a lot of all those. Yeah, you watch a lot of Western shows on Netflix. Wow, all the relationship shows. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, if you were to actually take a look at like podcasts now, the number one sort of hot podcast topics are always about relationships or about like, oh, I'm a man. Like, this is what men should do.
Oh,
or, like, this is what a woman should do.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah. So it's like, then there's also a counter to that. There's a lot of females that I think that they want to stand out. So they go very extreme.
Yeah.
So there's a way that they're saying like, women should be personally happy doing this, or like they should be personally happy doing that. And then to be honest, it's a very difficult line because in a way it's not wrong to be self-fulfilled or self-happy, but there's also that line of like your self-fulfilled, does it come at the expense of your marriage?
Your family. Like if you already get married, like for example, before you get married, it's all about the expectations you set for like your soon to be husband and your soon to be wife or your soon to be wife, you know.
Yeah. Plus, I think on top of that, we'll talk about the Western influence of this. On one hand, yes, it's like they include it subtly in almost everything now. So they have like small things that they put in videos or they put in like movies or whatever that sort of make you more open-minded. So, but I also think that the social media has made it more brazen. So in a way, it's like they just very in your face. They say like, you should do this because you should be happy. Like a man should be like that to do, you know what I mean? Like you should be looking for this kind of wife, like or a woman should be looking for this kind of husband. It's just very like, and then they shorten the media for you. So it's like TikTok or this, they want to get as quick the information as possible. So they make it as how to say extravagant or in your face. Yeah. So it's like, oh wow. Then after you just sort of think about it in like immediately, then you go and like convert to the long form format of it lah. But I would say that it's so if you personally, right, if you say that someone is like legit unhappy in a relationship, they should just stick it out.
Well, like I said, it depends. I feel like there's a lot of options that you can take before like really giving up on a relationship. Like, like I feel like if I can understand in a case where one person has been trying their best, doing everything they can to save the relationship, and the other person is ready to really wants to give up already.
Give up. Like he's
really given up already. So there are a lot of other things that you can go for counseling. You can like like have a better communication, like compromise if you want another compromise. I feel like especially when it comes to when you in a marriage, right? After a while, a lot of things it comes to compromise because like everyone's different. No two people are exactly the same. No two people are no person is perfect. So it's like it's all about how you compromise and like let the small things go so that you all can in the end move forward in life together to one day be there for one another.
Okay. Speaking of commitment, I would say that one of the biggest issues in divorce, I would say this is the number one reasons for people getting divorced, right? It's actually affairs and money situation. So it's like these two issues, right? So infidelity is something that sort of causes a lot of people to go and sort of divorce. I also know there are cases, right, where the infidelity happens, but they sort of just accept, okay, this person is going to be like cheating on me. So but for the sake of maybe my reputation, I don't want to go and divorce. Yeah. So do you think that I would say affairs is a justified reason for people to get divorced?
I was speaking to my friend just recently. I was just saying that honestly, affairs, right, is very borderline, like almost like it's like abuse. It's like emotional abuse. It's just like
to me, it is.
Yeah, you're just basically breaking the person's heart, and like so. Like I said, I feel like a lot of times in this scenario, right, some people in the end they say that they can work it out, but then in the end they still don't work it out. It's because the entire dynamic,
trust is not there.
Yes, the trust is no longer there as well. So you all both have to reach an understanding that your relationship has really changed. It's no longer the guy has to accept that when the girl says that she forgives you, right, you have to work like I think 10 times as hard to earn back. Yeah,
yes.
Like you have to work. Your relationship is to even think about having it back. Your relationship, right? It's like you really. It's not like you go back to like say, okay, Lord, the next day you're hugging and kissing already. Then like, wow, our relationship is back to now stronger than ever. No, it's not going to be like that. Because some guys they expect they of course they know that it's going to be hard, but they never understand how hard is it going to be. You probably have to give up like ever going out late at night. Then you have to be very very accountable to your wife. You have to make sure that she feels so secure that there's no doubt in her mind at all. Because at the end of the day, of this kind of trust, it takes very long to build back up again. Yeah,
true.
So then, of course, the girl has to do her part as well to even let the person to be able to understand that can she ever find herself to trust the person or not? Don't waste the person's time. So it's like if you say that the guy like you want to work all this out, but the thing is you know in your mind that you will never ever trust this person again, but you cannot. It's like in a relationship you need to have trust. Of course, it will take some time to get back trust, but you also need to give that person a chance to do it. You know, so that's why I say it's like very dependent on the like.
On the person.
On the person, yes.
Yeah, I completely agree. And also, I would say that if you're in that situation, right, with your set of friends that going to like put you in this style of situation, maybe you need a different set of friends. Like as in a bunch of cowboys isn't really good for. There's a reason why all of them end up getting killed in the Wild West. Yeah, so you don't. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that honestly, some especially when you're the first one to get married, right? Honestly, your friends will understand. Even if they don't, right? When it's their time to get married, right? They will at that point of time, then they will understand.
They will want you to do that for them.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So
they will want you to help
like,
them.
Maybe if let's say there has to be your bottom line, you know, like oh, you want to go out and drink? Sure. Friends go out and drink, I'm okay. Where? They tell you KTV. Okay, no, I can't go there because that's my bottom line. Like, you want to go to a bar at like Telok area where it's like open there's live music. Nice, let's go. Yeah, it's a different atmosphere. It's a different like environment. Yeah. Then the moment that you suddenly you ask your I got a few friends who are girls coming. Okay. Then I'll probably leave when they come. Or like, I'm okay to meet friends, but then after that, when I suddenly ordered like 5 more bottles. Hey, actually, I have an early day. I have an early day tomorrow. Yeah. Let me go first. Like congrats everything. Your friends will understand. If your friends don't understand, means they're not really that good of friends. They know you're married.
They're selfish friends.
Yeah. How can imagine if you tell someone like as a married person, I go out drinking so until 3 a.m. They're like with girls there, like with everyone. Is like your friends also here also will be like, oh, that's not very nice thing to do if you're married, ma. So they will know, oh, my friend's married, he has to go home, he has a wife to go home to, yeah, he can't go home too drunk, he can't go home too late. It's everybody will understand. Everybody's adults now. Yeah. So I feel like you need to have some bottom lines where you don't cross and your friends also know that okay, this is my Brendan's bottom line. So it's like okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then they'll not try to put you in that situation.
Yes. Yeah, they'll know.
If they're really your good friends.
Yes.
Okay. But besides from this, right, actually, do you think that social media and dating apps have sort of made affairs easier?
It really has. It really has.
But the most common place that people is work.
Workplace,
work or like maybe the gym, this type of thing. So you go to a common area, then after you meet people.
But the thing is, that pool is so small, and your wife will probably know these people as well. So it's like, the options aren't that many. So like last time, I believe cheating is like. Of course, if you really want to cheat, you find a way, but it's very hard to find accidental cheating. But nowadays, if for example, people who are curious, people who really want to cheat, like they will really cheat. But like I said, I feel like for dating apps and social media, right, it increases your options to cheat, but for all these people, right, it's really they have that mindset that they want to cheat. Already.
They want to cheat.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think as a married person, if you have a dating app, that's a bit like a big no-no.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah. Hyper red flag. This is like the blood. The red flag is super bloody, bro.
Yeah. Plus, I would say specifically Tinder because that one is like it's a hookup. Nowadays, yes. And there are people that got married through Tinder that I know personally, but I also know like people they just use it to go and hook up with people.
Yes. No,
yeah.
But I feel like social media, the reason why I say like it's not really increasing your options to cheat, but it's just like increasing your temptation. You know, like you get what I'm saying? Like especially for a young married couple, right? I feel like some people like, especially depends what kind of lifestyle you see. You then like for example, you always like to like go out and drink, party, or like you always see. Then after that, they show you like images and I know like some older couples, right? Like I feel it's like that's why I always ask Amanda, do you think it's a red flag? This older, like for example, uncle, like not uncle, maybe like late 30s, 40s, married couple, married like 10 years, older adult, right? He's on Instagram and he's always liking like very saucy photos of girls. Like
I think that's an issue.
I also think that's an issue. But recently I heard on radio, right? There's a lot of people feel like some of them feel like it's not really an issue because they don't know the person and like it's like they say it's like it's very similar to like watching porn. Then I'm just like
And no, it's especially weird if they are like people, friends that you know.
Yeah, no, it's like, especially if you're lucky, like Singapore people, right? Means you're it's like there'll be probably a mutual friend somewhere, or it's like a friend's friend. You're actively searching. You're like searching the
But
name.
you're already mentally cheating. In a way,
Yeah,
it's like it's like, wow, she very chill. Then you like,
yes.
like, yeah,
Then you remember the person's name. Then it's like you have like a crush. But you're a married person. You like having crushes is not. It's not like I have like a wow. I love it. Like this Korean drama I watched. This girl really, she act damn well. She's damn cute. Yeah, that's a very different thing from like.
Yeah, there's like there's a higher chance that you might bump into this girl somewhere.
Yes.
And then or something like that, as compared to a Korean actress. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And the thing is, when you're looking like that, right, and you're searching for girls, especially local girls, as like on Instagram and everything, right, means that you are giving in to your attraction. You know, like
yeah, not only that, yeah, you're looking for a specific type. Or there's a type that you like.
Correct.
So if there's a case that you bump into someone that looks similar to them, or has like similar physical features to that person, you'll be more tempted to go and give in to your urges.
And the fact that you already give in to your urges to like a photo, right? Even when you're married, right? It's like you're already on a very slippery path downwards, you know? Yeah. It's like, oh, I like this girl, like also I like the photo, but liking it, no harm. Then you see this person, you're like, oh my god, this girl look a lot like the girl that I like. That's like I like on Instagram. Talk to her. There's no harm. It's the mindset is always there's no harm in talking to this person that I know I am attracted to. But as a married person, I feel like it's like you already know that certain scenarios that is a bit iffy. You already know that you are like attracted to the person. So like, why would you want to put yourself in a scenario where the person talk to you, then you all get close, then after that, it's like you like. Wow, I know I get tempted. Yeah, I know I get tempted, but let me just put myself in the world of temptation. Tempt me.
Tempt me.
Like I'm damn hungry, but I'm on a diet. No, never mind. Let me buy a char kway teow, put in front of me and smell it. Wow, I feel so full now. No, bro, it never works, lah.
Doesn't work like that, bro.
Yeah,
but I would say that yes, the reasons for divorce, if it's like a long-term thing, right? Like you find out that your lover has a second family or like has a girlfriend for like 1 year, they are different.
Yeah, that is very different. That is like your husband has already given. I believe, right? Or if in those kind of scenarios, right, the person already like gave up on you. This famous girl, the always that is on. Is usually the female podcasts, they are the opposite of Andrew Tate's side, you know, like the hyper feminism.
I think I know. Is it Leia?
Yes, I think it's Leia. Yeah.
She's famous for like being sort of how to say, her mindset is similar to Andrew's.
Similar,
but she's a female.
Yeah, similar, but not until so extreme.
Not so extreme, but her like the basics of what. Yeah,
correct. Yeah. Which is I feel is like I said, it's also true. I also I feel like it's like for whatever she said makes sense. So like for example, for girls who like for people who have like more, I think if I remember correctly, she said like if you have more than 20 or more than 50 sexual partners, right, the chances of your marriage succeeding, right, drops by like 80%.
Wow.
Something like that, 60 to 80%. Yeah.
I would say this is one of the major issues, affairs, and I would say the next major issue is actually money.
Yes, so, especially in Singapore. Like when you want to start a family, right? You need to you need to really be financially stable. You need to be on your own because like both of us, we know like when you're married, you have to weave and cleave. You have to depend on your own 2 feet. Then if not, how you're going to start a family? But if you're married and you still take money from both of your parents, then you're still getting support from all of them. How can you all say like? You are still under that covering of your parents, ma. You're not really, under the umbrella. So how are you going to come out of that? How are you going to make your own umbrella? I don't understand.
Yeah. Plus, also, I would say that when I see marriages, right, where money is an issue, most of the time it's maybe they have their own business or something of that extent. And then, especially during lockdown period, a lot of people, they struggled because there's no business open or whatever. So I did see like firsthand, I had friends that they got divorced because like, oh, my business closed down or whatever. Or like a lot of my friends, the business did close down. Yeah. And it adds a level of like unfair stress to the situation because you might have been in a stable situation prior to this sort of financial burden. But after it happens, it's like something you can't really control because in a way, it's like, yeah, like, you have to pay for your marriage. You still have to go and worry about your job, and then after you're not going to be in a state of mind that is going to be conducive to be in a relationship.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, you're in a very depressed state, or like not easy.
So that's the thing, is like, when you're on the survival mode, right? When you're stressing about money, when you're stressing about like how to survive, you're like digging through things, right? You have no mental capacity or even emotional capacity to focus on like other things. So how are you? Yeah. So it's like, how are you, like, if you are really, like, as a person, you're like so stressed, it's just, like, how are you in a relationship? Cannot be like, wow, I'm going crazy, like digging for the. Then after you reach home, like, oh my gosh, like, how are you? What can I buy you? Like, how's your day? You won't want, when you're so stressed out, everything, right? You won't. It's very hard for you to have a normal conversations with like to properly communicate with your loved ones. Yeah. Like, have you ever experienced is when the girl makes more money than the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's where, like, sometimes that causes an issue as well.
Yeah, because the man has an ego, right? They don't want to. Yeah, I find lah. But
it could.
I guess I don't think that both of us will have this issue, to be honest, because we are both more open-minded. We're not so lah.
But it's the fact that I feel like sometimes it's not just the. I feel like not just the ego thing. Sometimes it's so. That's why I say it's sometimes so contradicting that So I know some girls who, like, they make more, but the guy do so much more at home, or like the guy do so much other things, but like the girl is very, very unhappy that she's making more. So it's like,
okay. Like, so like, she expects him to be making more.
Making more, correct. Because it's like, like, how can you, like, she don't voice it out, but you can tell from the way she speaks to the person, right? Like the amount of respect, the respect that she had for this person dropped a lot because of the amount it makes. But like, that's why I say sometimes it's so funny, especially you really see that a lot more in like Singaporean context rather than like where you see overseas. Yeah, that's why I have friends who say that they really only want to get married to like I say they really like dating like for example Malaysian girls or like other like girls that are not Singaporean girls, because they feel like it's very stressful for them. I'm not saying that like every Singaporean girl is like, it's not. It's just that it's because that we grew up in a society, especially it's now that every girl is like, like, girls are a lot like, they are a lot more educated, they are a lot more like career driven, they have a lot of things that they want.
You gotta make it like a we thing, like a us.
Yeah, yes. A we instead of I.
Yeah. It's like if you do well, I also do well. If I do well, you also do well. So we do it together. Yeah. I think you gotta have this sort of mindset going through it lah. All right. The next one, right, that's sort of a big issue is actually timing. So I do think that this happens quite a lot, where people get married either too early or they sort of they rush into things. So it's like they date them for like a very short period of time. Like, oh, she's the one. Then they get into a relationship. Yeah. Then when they stay with them together, then they realize that, oh, like the true nature of the person comes out, or like their habits come out. So do you think that this is an issue? I would say that it's one of the bigger issues that I've noticed, especially like they go into it, or maybe like they have a baby out of like wedlock, this type of thing. So they will force them to go and get into a marriage. Yeah. I mean, it works for some people. I mean, like the Naomi Neo. Correct. She's famous. Yeah. They got, but she's very happily married now with so many children. All this. Yeah. But I mean, it's not the case for everybody. Correct.
Yeah. Because like I said, when you get married very early, right, you increase your challenges by a lot. Like, at the end of the day, no one can say you guarantee fail. You know, is that there are chances, there are always chances that you succeed and you'll do very well, and your family will be a very happy family. You have kids very early. There are quite a few like I know friends who are so happily married, and even though they they had a shotgun marriage, but it's just that it makes your life a lot harder. You have to go through a lot of challenges together that could potentially break up the relationship. But if you all manage to overcome it together, of course you all will strive together.
Might come to a point, You all might come to a point where it's acceptance. Like we accept each other, then we can do it together. So it's different.
Yeah. Correct. But it's just that it's a very big risk. So it's like, of course, why would you want to put yourself through this kind of risk and like so much stress? No, like I say, when you get married so early, right? It's like financially it's so stressful. Like maybe you all could be studying. It's like you're really stressed about exam. Then you stress about like after that when I'm going to work. Then you stress about my baby, clean diaper, change diaper. Then then at the same time, if you're doing it very young, sometimes honestly it's the people around you as well. Everybody else is so young. Everybody else, like they're still.
The advice you get is also from young people.
Correct.
Correct.
The advice
your friends are like that at the age.
Yeah, then everybody's still having fun, like, traveling with their girlfriend. If you're getting married at a very young age, especially if you due to like a baby, I doubt I very very highly doubt you get to travel that much. Yeah.
But do you think that this is actually a question that I've been thinking about a lot. So let's say if y'all have a baby out of wedlock, so it's like a shotgun, like a baby that y'all had before marriage.
Yeah.
Do you think it makes sense for couples now to like wait first, so they don't get married, they have the baby first, and then after that they hold off the marriage so that they can sort of like stabilize themselves first, then after that they get married? Or do you think that it's like when y'all have the kid, y'all must get married? You get what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah, because I understand like a lot of people, right? They for their face sake, their reputation, they get married first.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, also it's like this baby. Once you make a choice to have a baby, right? The responsibility is already both of you. So it's like do y'all sort of understand that? Okay, like this responsibility, both of us, we just get into marriage now. Like, do you know what I mean?
I get what you mean. Yeah. Honestly, it's very tough.
At the expense of the child, lah.
Which is a very tough question also. Like, honestly, like by right, to me, it's like if it was me, I will always like push for marriage, because I feel like end of the day, like I made the like if whatever
you made the choice.
I made the choice to do it, and end of the day, whatever consequences, whatever happens, right? I want to do right by my kid lah. By my baby, by the person that I'm having the baby with, like, so, like, be it whether she want to accept me or not, that's a different story. Yeah. So, but I feel like,
but you do it for the kid.
Yeah, you do it for the fact that, yeah lah, like you have to live through it, ma. Like, I feel like, of course, the other way is to wait for it to happen. Wait for the kid. Yeah. But
okay, so this like sort of leads to my second part of the question, right? So let's say, for instance, you get married for the kid, okay? Because honestly, that's the reason why you do it. Because you love this kid, you want to provide for this kid, you want to give them a stable sort of environment to grow. But at the same time, you did not have the chance to craft the relationship with your partner and wife.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are also cases that I've also known where it's like, okay, they don't get married. Okay. But they both take the responsibility of parenting the child. Then they individually take the time to go and find their own partner that they want in life. So do you think that this is right or wrong? You get what I mean, right? So it's like I married someone else that is not his father, or I married someone else that is not this person's mother. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will feel be personally happy, and then there'll be two sets of parents to take care of the child.
Yeah. But I feel like that's end of the day, because I grew up in a divorced family also, right? So like I would say that, like, personally, I feel like if you make the choice, in the end you're having a baby, right? I feel like you owe it to the kid to at least try to work it out together, like to have like a relationship with one another. Like, because you are in the end the parents, so end of the day you're spending a lot of time together. So end of the day, why not like see if you all actually can parent the thing together, you all can love each other, you all can grow old together, and like be the best, like not like be a whole, like a family together with your child.
Yeah. Okay. And then I guess this sort of leads into the last one, which is actually children. So it's like, does children affect the marriage or not? I would say that children, they both have this sort of dual effect on a marriage. So one is that they can hold a family together, and at the same time also, it can come at the expense of your affection for each other.
Correct.
What do you say?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you find that right balance of like, we don't lose that affection for each other at the expense of having a child, or at the expense of our love for a child? Yeah lah.
It's very hard.
How do you do it?
Honestly, it's very, very hard. And that's the reason why I always tell my friends, me and Amanda, we always tell our friends, enjoy your marriage life together first. Like, have some foundation, and build some memories. Of course, like, let's say if you all are together, you're together for 12 years, you all have like a buckload of memories already. You and Natalie are probably like have the amount of, like memories, the love, your affection, the foundation is there already. But for some of them, they're together 2 years, 3 years. End of the day, no matter what, you need to have some memories of like marriage life before kids. Because when you look back on, after that, when doing hard moments, right, you look back and it's like, after marriage. The joy. Correct. It's just like, if after marriage, like, you sure have kids, then it's just like, the moment I got married, right, my life went downhill, like, our relationship went downhill, like, I can't remember the last time I was happy planning. And like even people tell me, right, when you have kids, right, you need to make sure that you have, date night with Amanda, everything. But it's really very hard. It's like when those nights, honestly, on Saturday, sometimes when me and Amanda, when we have a free time, right, all we want to do is just sleep, We just want to just like, we both just want to just enjoy the quiet time.
Do the things that you personally want to do. Sorry.
Yeah, correct.
Because you also don't have time for yourself, let alone like time for
so
dating or whatever.
It's a balance, but of course you really have to put in effort to like make sure that the relationship is there, like the foundations are there, like you don't forget one another. Because like I said, I believe nowadays it's a lot more. It's not as much of a problem as in the past. Because like last time in the past, that's why you see like nowadays friends that are getting married, they're living in the house, right? You see like a lot of like divorces. Some of the divorces like 50 plus 60 years old because empty and it's the empty nest syndrome. Like when all the kids like leave the home, then suddenly like wow, the house very quiet. Like all our 3 kids all leave the house. Then like I don't. Last time parents like after a very long time, right? Your parents has been like every time they talk to each other, it's about the kids. Everything is about the kids. Then suddenly when all the kids go, right, it's just like, hi stranger, who are you? I haven't talked to you for the past 30 years.
Okay, but in the conclusion, right, to go and sort of like summarize this whole thing, what is like the main advice that you want to give to people that are like maybe in an unhappy marriage or like like not considering getting married or whatever? Like what
I feel like I feel like there's like different advices for different guys. Like I feel like my advice for guys and girls will be different. Like for example, in a relationship, right, I feel like sometimes like ladies don't understand like what a guy really needs. Like sometimes like because men and women are different. So it's like sometimes after a long day of work, right? I know like girls they come back, they want to tell like the guy like, everything they've done in that day. They want to talk, they want to communicate, they want to talk. But sometimes like honestly, right, the guy when a guy comes home right after a long day of work, right, the last thing in their mind is they want to talk. Like I want to be excited to come home to rest. I believe it was Andrew Tate that said it actually. When I come home,
yeah.
I
want to be like at a peace, safe place.
I want to be at peace, safe space where this person is my rainbow, this person is my joy, this person is my happiness. That I come home, I know that I can count on this person to like no matter how stressed I am to take me through this difficult moment. That help alleviates my problems instead of like adding on to it. That helps to like that be there for me. Like sometimes like I said, so of course sometimes I want to talk about it, sometimes I don't want to talk about it. But like I said, it's the same thing as like for guys to girls as well. Even though sometimes you have a very hard day, if your wife is having a very very tough day, you need to be there for her. You need to be there for her. You need to like listen, to like talk about it, to like really communicate, to like see whether like what does she really need. So like I said, it's at the end of the day, I always feel like for relationship and everything, it's about communication and compromise. Like to
two C's.
Like, 2 C's to really like tell each other like what you all really want and what you all really need, and then after that compromise on like, okay, I guess like I can give up on this so that you can get this. I guess like no matter how like at the end of the day, even in argument, like it's always someone needs to compromise first, and it cannot always be one person. So it's like I said, take turns.
Yeah. And I think like for me, just like round it off, I would say the 2 things is that for guys, right, this effort, like you got to really put in effort. The main thing is effort, because I've seen people like they just can't be bothered, or like they're like, oh, just leave me alone, like, you know what I mean, like effort. Correct. And I would think for girls, right, the most I would say for in general, right, guys, they just want some sort of like respect. Like they don't want to feel like they're worth nothing or disrespected or like they're not valued or something like that. I think guys, they're just very like, you just got to show them like some basic level of like, I value you.
I appreciate you. Correct.
The small things you do, I value. I don't. Or it's like just don't do things and then like just like say them or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like because when they feel devalued, then they also like feel upset or whatever. Like. I think guys are quite
even more so that like that's why I say sometimes it's a very toxic, like a very vicious cycle. The less effort the guy put, then the more the person say, then the more the guy don't want to put in effort. Then after that, it's just like wow, it becomes like a very very slippery slope down.
Yeah, man.
Tough.
But like just to round it off, we just hope that everyone, when you all get into a marriage, you all make the right decision to do it for the right reasons. And then also we just hope that everyone can like stay happy in the marriage. Like just put in effort, and then after it, hopefully everything will go well.
Get out of here.
Oh, look at the time. The coffee shop is closing. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember, give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. We have episodes that drops every Monday. But in the same time, also, if you're into football, we have the football kaki that drops every Wednesday. And if you want to hang out with a bunch of dudes and do a game show format, we have the SG Draft podcast that drops every Friday. We hope everyone is enjoying themselves over this long weekend. But remember,
A kopi a day keeps your troubles away. Forever love.
what was that?
I don't know. A song by Wang Linghong who cheated on his wife.
Come on, man.
Sing about forever love. Bye, man.